If you understand this story, your level is B2, English listening stories. Enjoy listening. She worked in secret every night. Episode 1, The Girl Who Never Slept. Emily Parker was 22 years old and exhausted. Every morning she arrived at the small bakery before sunrise. She mixed dough, cleaned tables, served customers, and smiled even when her feet hurt. By evening, she looked ready to collapse. "Emily, you work too hard," her coworker Jake often said. She always laughed. Someone has to pay the bills. What nobody knew was that Emily's problems were much bigger than they seemed. Her father had died 3 years earlier. Her mother was seriously ill and needed expensive treatment. Every dollar Emily earned disappeared almost immediately. At night, after everyone went to sleep, Emily quietly entered her tiny bedroom and locked the door. Then she opened an old laptop. While the city slept, she worked. Hour after hour, night after night. She never told anyone what she was doing. Not her friends. Not Jake. Not even her mother. Sometimes she worked until 3 in the morning. Sometimes until dawn. One rainy night, an email suddenly appeared on her screen. Her hands froze. The sender's name made her heart stop. It was from a company she had dreamed about for years, and the message contained only 6 words. "We need to speak with you." Episode 2, The Secret Project. Emily stared at the email for several minutes. Her hands were shaking. Could this really be happening? She clicked the message. Inside was an invitation to an online interview with Bright Mind Studios, one of the most successful animation companies in the country. Emily almost cried. For 3 years, she had secretly taught herself digital art and animation. Every night after work, she created characters, backgrounds, and short animated scenes. She uploaded them anonymously online under the name Moonlight Artist. Millions of people had watched her videos, but nobody knew her real identity. Not even her followers. The interview was scheduled for Friday. The problem was, Friday was also the day her bakery manager planned to choose a new assistant supervisor. The promotion would increase her salary. Her family desperately needed that money. For the next 3 days, Emily barely slept. Should she choose safety? Or should she risk everything for her dream? Friday finally arrived. At noon, her phone rang. The interview invitation had been moved. It would start in 30 minutes. Exactly when the promotion meeting was about to begin, Emily stared at the screen. She had only one choice to make, and whatever she chose could change her life forever. Episode 3, The Choice. Emily stood frozen in the bakery kitchen. The promotion meeting would start in 25 minutes. Her online interview would begin in 30. She felt as if her entire future had split into 2 different roads. "Emily?" Jake asked. "You okay?" She forced a smile. "Yeah, just nervous." But inside, she was terrified. The assistant supervisor position meant stability, more money, better treatment for her mother. The interview meant uncertainty, a dream, a possibility. Nothing more. For several minutes, she walked back and forth behind the bakery. Then, she remembered something her father used to say. The safest road isn't always the right one. Her eyes filled with tears. She made her decision. Emily quietly left the bakery and rushed to a nearby internet cafe. Her heart pounded as the interview began. 3 people appeared on the screen. At first, everything went well. They loved her artwork. They praised her creativity. Then, one interviewer asked a simple question. "Can you relocate immediately if we hire you?" Emily's smile disappeared. Move away? Leave her sick mother alone? The room suddenly felt cold. Before she could answer, her phone vibrated. It was the hospital, and the message made her blood run cold. "Please come immediately. Your mother has collapsed." Episode 4, The Promise. Emily ran faster than she had ever run before. Nothing else mattered. Not the interview. Not the promotion. Not her dreams. Only her mother. When she reached the hospital, doctors were already treating her. For 2 terrifying hours, Emily sat alone in the waiting room. Finally, a doctor approached. "She's stable now." Emily nearly collapsed with relief. The doctor explained that her mother's condition had worsened and new treatment would be necessary. The cost was enormous, far more than Emily could afford. That night, she sat beside her mother's bed. Her mother looked weak but smiled gently. "You're tired, sweetheart." Emily looked away. "I'll be okay." "No," her mother whispered. "You've been carrying everything alone." Emily felt tears sliding down her cheeks. For the first time, she told her mother the truth. About the secret artwork, about the sleepless nights, about the interview. Her mother listened quietly. Then she squeezed Emily's hand. "Promise me something." "What?" "Promise me you won't give up your dream because of me." Emily couldn't answer. The next morning, she checked her email. There was a message from Bright Mind Studios. She expected a rejection. Instead, she found something completely unexpected. At the bottom of the email was a sentence that changed everything. "We know who Moonlight Artist really is." Episode 5, Someone Was Watching. Emily read the sentence 3 times. "We know who Moonlight Artist really is." Her heart raced. How? She had spent years hiding her identity. She never showed her face, never shared personal information, never told anyone. For a moment, she wondered if she was in trouble. With trembling fingers, she opened the rest of the email. The message explained everything. One of Bright Mind Studios' senior artists had discovered her animations nearly a year earlier. Since then, the company had secretly followed her work. They had watched her improve. They had seen her storytelling become stronger, and they were amazed by her determination. At the end of the email was another surprise. "We understand your family situation. We would like to offer a remote position so you can continue caring for your mother." Emily couldn't believe her eyes. A remote job, her dream job, without leaving home. Tears rolled down her face. For the first time in years, she felt hope. Then her phone rang. It was the bakery manager. His voice sounded unusually serious. "Emily, can you come in today?" "Why?" There was a long pause. Then he said something shocking. "Someone has accused you of stealing money from the bakery?" Episode 6, The Accusation. Emily felt the world spin around her. "Stealing?" she whispered. "That's impossible." "Please come," the manager said. "We need to discuss this." When Emily arrived, several employees were waiting. The atmosphere was tense. Nobody smiled. Nobody spoke. The manager led her into his office. A small amount of cash had disappeared from the register over the previous week. Security footage showed several employees near the register, including Emily. One coworker insisted she must be responsible. Emily felt humiliated. After everything she had sacrificed for that job, people suddenly looked at her like a criminal. Jake immediately defended her. Emily would never steal. But the accusation continued. For hours, they reviewed receipts, schedules, and security recordings. Finally, Jake noticed something strange. The timestamps on the videos didn't match the cash records. Someone had edited the footage. The real thief wasn't Emily. It was another employee who had tried to frame her. By evening, Emily was cleared. The manager apologized, but the emotional damage remained. As she walked home, exhausted, her phone buzzed again. Another email from Bright Mind Studios. This time, the subject line contained only 4 words. "Congratulations. You're hired." Episode 7, The Biggest Opportunity. Emily sat on a park bench and stared at the email. "Congratulations. You're hired." For several seconds, she couldn't breathe. Then she laughed. Then she cried. Then she laughed again. People passing by probably thought she was crazy. After years of exhaustion, worry, and secret work, her dream had finally become real. The following weeks were a whirlwind. She started working remotely for Bright Mind Studios during the day and gradually reduced her hours at the bakery. For the first time, she worked with professional artists from around the world. She loved every minute of it. Her confidence grew. Her skills improved rapidly. Even her mother seemed stronger and happier. But one afternoon, Emily received unexpected news. Bright Mind was launching its biggest animated film ever. Thousands of artists wanted to participate. Only one junior artist would be selected for a key role. The winner would receive a huge bonus in international recognition. Emily desperately wanted that opportunity. For weeks, she worked harder than ever. Then, just before the final selection, disaster struck. Her laptop suddenly went black. Years of work, the project files, everything, gone. And the deadline was only 48 hours away. Episode 8. The Night That Changed Everything. Emily stared at the dead screen in horror. No, please, no. She tried everything. Nothing worked. The laptop would not start. The project that could change her life seemed lost forever. For the first time in years, she felt completely defeated. That evening, she sat quietly beside her mother. Without saying a word, her mother hugged her. Then she smiled. "Do you remember all those nights?" Emily nodded. "The nights when you kept working while everyone else slept?" Of course. Her mother squeezed her hand. Those nights didn't disappear because of a broken computer. The words stayed with Emily. Suddenly, she realized something. Her skills were still there. Her creativity was still there. Nobody could take that away. Emily worked through the night on a borrowed laptop. She recreated the project from memory. Hour after hour, scene after scene, just like she had done for years. 3 days later, Brightmind announced the results. Emily had won. Not only that, the film became an international success. Months later, she stood on a stage, receiving an award. In the front row sat her mother, healthy and smiling, and next to her sat Jake, cheering louder than anyone else. The audience applauded, but Emily knew the truth. Success hadn't started on that stage. It had started in a tiny bedroom, late at night, when nobody was watching, and every sleepless night had been worth it. The end. If you want to listen to your own story in this way, leave comments below.